Yesu Kristu. Ndinibulisa nonke egameni lomtrinity ongcwele nozibekileyo, imbangi yokuhlwa kobomi, imbangi yokuphila kobomi bethu, uThixo ozikosithathu emnye. Sizawungena ke kule nkonzo imfutshane, the very short service on resurrection. My tradition and the tradition here to sing about Nkonzo is that every time we start a service, we sing a hymn. But we know that these days it's very strange. We can no longer have choirs for right reasons, that we need to stay at home. But I'm going to sing one of my favorite hymns, yovuko, the first and the last verse, before we share the word of God. If unalo ekhaya ucule kunye nami, kodwa into endicelayo ngelikhulu masikhumbuzane uba namhlanje senza ntoni okanye namhlanje kuyintoni. Let's sing together in our Xhosa hymns, hymn 72. We'll sing the first and the last verse. Gcobani sizwe nonke, gcobani indalo yonke, gcobani umhlaba wonke, inkosi ivukile. Masithandazeni ku page 61 kumaculo ethu. Thixo namandla onke uthe ngaye okuphela konyana wakho Yesu Kristu, wakoyisa ukufa, wasivulela isango lobomi naphakade. Siyakuthandaza ngokuthobekileyo uba uthi ngalo ufefe lwakho olukhulu usingenise ezinhliziyweni zethu, ungenise ezinhliziyweni zethu iminqweno elungileyo, ukuze sithi ngokusinqanda kwakho futhi sikwazi ukuphumelelisa ngayo Yesu Kristu inkosi yethu ehlawula ilawula, ngoba ukumkani kunye nawe kwakunye nomoya engcwele emnye uThixo ngonaphakade. Amen. We shall get our scripture reading from the book of Matthew, the 28th chapter. We shall read the first five verses of the chapter. uMateyu ongcwele isahluko samashumi amabini anesibhozo, sifunda ivesi yokuqala siyonqandwa yivesi yesihlanu. I shall read in isiXhosa. Ke kaloku ekupheleni kwesabatha, ekuseni ngolokuqala usuku lweveki, uMariya wasemagadala nomnye uMariya beza kulikhangela ingcwaba. Kwasuka kwabakho unyikimo olukhulu, kuba kwakuhle isithunywa senkosi emazulwini. Seza saliqenga ilitye lesuka emnyango, sahlala phezu kwalo. Ukubonakala kwaso kwaye kunjengombane, nesambatho sayo saye simhlophe njengekhethu. Ngokoyika sona ke bangcangcazela abalindi, baba njengabafileyo. Saphendula ke isithunywa sathi kubafazi abo, musani ukoyika nina, kuba ndiyazi uba nifuna uYesu lowo ebebethelelwe emnqamlezweni. Inkosi siyolufunda kwezilayo kokude kube naphakade. Amen. I'm going to share this short message for all of us this morning from the book of Matthew, focusing on the words that were relayed by the angel to the women, where the angel said, "Fear not." Ndithanda kakhulu ingakumbi kule Bible yesiXhosa xa isithi musani ukoyika mina. Xa usifunda zone igospel zithetha ngovuko lukaYesu. Noxa i-emphasis ingafani if you look at these different gospels. Ndinomdla kakhulu kwezi characters that are portrayed in this book of Matthew and other gospels as well. Kodwa ndifuna ukugqitha kule ndawo ithi ngoLwesihlanu yayingengoYesu nje owayengcwatywa. On Friday, even hope died. Ngoba Jesus was not only the giver of hope, he was their ultimate hope. So Jesus as hope died on Friday. And the little hope in the hearts of the disciples and in the hearts of the women who were also the followers of Jesus Christ died on that very day. We can relate to that story. Ukuthi xa kufe abantu abangamathemba ethu, nelethu ithemba liyafa. And therefore, we don't just meet women who are going to the grave of a dead man, but we're also meeting women who are going to the grave of hope that has died. Sidibana namakhosikazi ayengcwabeli ekwanqolanga zokungcwatywa uYesu kulo kwangcwatywa nethemba lakhe. Ndinomdla kwezi characters that are in the story. The first character andizoyichazulula, but nguLuka lo uthi the purpose yokuya engcwabeni kwalamakhosikazi ayephethe izispices zokuqhola umzimba kaYesu. Iyabonakala based on the story that going to the grave, they were not anticipating the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Babengayanga kulindela uvuko lukaYesu. Kwankulelo baphatha izispices zokuqhola umzimba ofileyo. The spices that they were carrying on that day, they were an affirmation ethi uphelile ngoYesu. But noxa kunjalo aphuma lamakhosikazi. nguLuka othi they were not praying. There was not even a sign that this is a journey of faith. Ngoba the only concern that they had, ngubani oyakusiqangela ilitye emangcwabeni. That to me doesn't sound as a journey of faith and hope, but it is a journey of those who are resigned to the fact that their hope is gone and is gone forever. Kodwa ndithukunyiswa yile nto. Uvuko rhameke kaThixo ayikakuphendulwa kwemithandazo. Resurrection is not God answering our prayers. we say nothing better will ever come of this situation. God intervenes, and that is resurrection. Uxa silahitawe uthixo angenelele. Resurrection is God responds when fear rules. Ngoba laba nkosikazi ehamba nje ebuseni aphethe uloyiko asibone ngenamandla esithi saqaphela ukubonile nje in that space of fear, in that space of doubt, God intervenes. It says to me and you, resurrection, it's not when God answers our prayers, it's when God surprises us. Avela khona singalindelanga khona. Anganini nje ukuzibonakalisa. Anganini nje ungenelele. Kodwa uThixo azibonakalise. The fear that seems to govern the lives of these women is the fear that seems to have engulfed the disciples of Jesus Christ. But the difference, the Bible says that our disciples were behind locked doors. With fear in their hearts, those fear set in, they went forth. They are afraid to a point of forgetting the fact that Jesus said he will die and rise again. That's what fear does to all of us, my brothers and sisters. It makes us to forget the promises of God. But not only that, it even makes us to forget the voice of Jesus Christ. Ujon lo uthi. When Jesus at the grave said, Maria ulilelani, ithi iBhayibhile, she said to Jesus, ndixelele inkosi apho ithathe khona. Let us not allow fear to make us not to hear the voice of Jesus Christ calling each one of us by name, even in the midst of coronavirus, even in the midst of upheavals in our country. Masekalivumela uloyiko lusivince indlebe zoYesu osibiza ngamagama. The danger of fear makes us to forget the promises of God. Yawungena ingxaki silibala wayethe uThixo ndoba nathi. And something beautiful is happening in the grave. Some restoration is happening in the grave, but Mary cannot recognize because Nkonzo yakhe is caught up to the fact that I want to ask you this question over this Easter weekend. No matter whether ukhonzendlini okanye ukhonzanga, were you able to recognize the voice of Jesus that calls you by name? And I want to say, resurrection is a reconnection between those who follow Jesus Christ and the Savior. But as he reconnects with us, he calls us by name and says, Mary ulilelani. And maybe, even when the world is crying because of the pandemic, even if our country is crying because of the pandemic, are you able to hear the voice of Jesus Christ that is asking you and me, ulilelani? And can you hear Jesus calling us? But I like that which sets apart the disciples, that sets apart these two women, is that though they are afraid, though they see themselves as being incapable of rolling the stone, but yet they carry on. They go ahead, carrying the spices, not knowing what dangers lie ahead, not knowing whether they will even reach the destination. It says to me, faith is not absence of fear, but faith is to carry on despite. Ufefe ayikukabikho koloyiko, kodwa ufefe is ability yokuthi noba kumnyama uthi ndiyaye, uthi noba uyankwanta uye, uthi noba uyoyika uye. And fear cripples us. And I want to say to those of us embarking on the journey of prayer, on the journey of discernment, on the journey of fasting, even in fear, carry on. But it's carry on. Because unlike the disciples, carry on. My message to you today is that no matter the uncertainty, carry on. No matter if the situation doesn't make sense, we were used to being together, now we are far apart. We are in our small and little corners. The action of these women is saying to you and me, carry on. And what shall we do as people of faith? What shall we do as people who believe in the maker of heaven and earth? Shall we stop and be like Israelites and say, Asinakuvuma iinkomo zethu elizweni lokuthinjwa? My answer to you, go to the grave, carry on. And you'll ask this question, how do I carry on? And my answer to you, it's what John Wesley said. We carry on through prayer. We carry on through the reading of the word. We carry on through fasting. But we carry on through communion, even if we cannot be physically in each other's space. But through whatever means, we carry on by doing so. But now, doing no harm. And doing no harm means that we abide by the rules that are meant to protect us and protect others from the infection. We do no harm by making sure that this time is used wisely for building of humanity and families. And the stories of hearing of the rise of abuse must be shamed, because this is not a time for male to use them to abuse their families, but it is time that all of us must seek the guidance of God. But one of the things that is scaring me, enye yezinto endoyikisayo ngovuko lobhukuqo yikhu yamazulu. The reason they city yikhu, it is because the people ababehleli who occupied a special place in the table of Jesus Christ are not here this morning. Those who ascended the mountain of transfiguration, were not there that morning. Those in the upper room who were sharing space no years are not there. But what worries me, those who were always seen as second-class members of Jesus Christ's family were the carriers of the message that we brought. What worries me is that akubhukukwanga maroma kuphela, akubhukukwanga abantu abebethelelwe semnqamlezweni. Even the disciples were overthrown because those who were sharing the message were not the ones wearing the coat. And I'm saying, if disciples are crippled by fear, the message that something new is happening will come from the unlikely sources. I find it ironic that those who were even told by Jesus Christ that phezu kwakho ndiyakuyakhela licala, ndakulakhela phezu kwakho ibandla lam, uyiva ngoMary ukuba inkosi ivukile. And it sounds like a clarion call to the church. If our going to church is about occupying positions and seeing ourselves as being important, resurrection says to me, when the rubber meets the road, Jesus will use those who are available to tell the nation the good news. Because going to church is not about being important. Going to church is not about occupying the best positions. But going to church is to make sure when the world turns upside down, there are men and women who will say, the Lord is risen. We come so that even when our nation is under the cloud of corona, it's not about those who occupy better positions in the church, but it is about those who are available, those who carry on to say to those in fear, the Lord is risen. There's a new message. And the new message is not even carried by the Pope, as the story says. It's not even carried by the bishop. It's not even carried by the priest. It's not even carried by umongameli, the Catholic Amakoskazi, who took a risk and went to the grave to do what was humanly possible. And when they were in the grave, God revealed that you're coming here. I allowed you to come so that you go to the village and tell them, and I want to ask ourselves, where are we? Are we still sitting behind closed doors? Or are we ready, even if we don't have positions in the church, even if we're not recognized, are we ready to go to the grave, to go to the places of fear and the places of stench? And as we stand there doing what we think is humanly necessary, Jesus gives us a new message to tell the nation something new has happened. As I prepare to end this short sermon, what strikes me, the grave becomes a place of exchange. But not just the grave becomes the place of exchange, but the grave also becomes the place of good news. And I want to say in prayer, Uthixo can change every grave. Jesus can change every scary place to be a place of good news. But he cannot do that without men and women who carry on in faith, doing what is humanly possible. But my prayer this morning, kum nawe, kukuthi masingaloyiki ingcwaba in whatever form. If our imeko zethu takes us to the grave, to the place of fear, to the place of absence of life, let us go. What if God awaits us with good news, that we become the messengers? The messengers, not from the pulpit, but the messengers from the grave. Those who said we want to see the suffering. Those who said we want to see with our eyes that nothing better will come. Instead, what God has done is to change the grave. I want to say, in closing, Matthew says, as Jesus is about to be resurrected, Matthew yedwa othi sehla isithunywa sezulu. And if you read chapter 28, verse 4, says before the stone could be removed, Geja, which is a Greek word that says the angel descended. Who depends on our prayers, but uThixo odependa kwicharacter yakhe ngokuluthando. Yiyo loo nto akulila abaIsrayeli wathi ndikuvile ukulila kwabo ndihlile. We serve a God who is able to come down and meet us on the ground and meet us at the place of tears and tells us that ndihlile. And today, we see that miracle being reenacted again. We see uThixo vakalelwayo. Yile nto umuntu wasewisile uyeza akabizwa. Sometimes we have so much trust in our prayers. Sometimes sithembe imithandazo yethu ngaphezu kokuthemba uThixo. Ngamanye amaxesha sithemba izangotshe zethu singathembanga uThixo. Lamantombazana zangathandaze kodwa uThixo wabona imekuba abona ususi lithe wathuma isithunywa sakhe. And all we ask of God is that we're available. Let him be the one who removes the stone. Yiyo loo nto nomculo wathi uThixo ozihlelayo akahlizwa uyazihlela. Uthi umculi wabona uluntu lonke luwesolweni wathabathela kuye sonke ihlazo lakhe. Athi umculi hayi obunzulu boluthando lwakhe. It doesn't matter nokuba siye endaweni siyisuyika. It doesn't matter nokuba siye endaweni we face the world in fear. SinoThixo sukehle athume izithunywa zakhe zehle. Izulu, I want to close by these words. Izulu liyavakalelwa xa silila. God was moved by the fear and the helplessness of this woman. And God has a plan B. God, when the world, we are faced with states of helplessness, amaxesha amaninzi we blame each other, we accuse each other, but uThixo sibonisa icharacter entsha. Xa ilizwe abantu bephelelwe ithemba uyehla ngokwakhe. He sent his angel. And I want to say, as we bring this sermon to an end, hayi obunzulu boluthando lwakhe. But I say, what for every helpless state one faces, nayiphina imeko umuntu ajongene nayo engapha kwamandla akhe. I'm not talking of a situation where you still have hope. I'm talking of a situation where you have given up hope. I want to assure you this morning, the heavens will come down. The heavens will come down. And not just come down, remove the stone. But not only remove the stone, change the grave to be a place of good news. And the good news will not come from the palace. And the good news will not come from the temple. And the good news will not come from the pulpits. But the good news will come from the grave to the pulpits and the palaces and saying Nkonzo vuki. Simlinde phi uYesu ovukileyo. Simlinde in our places of appearance. Or we're looking around for those who need sanitizers, who need comfort, those who need food. And we say we go to those places of helplessness and say, Nkosi ivukile. And by saying Nkosi ivukile, it's a new message of saying something new is happening in our midst. But I want to say it loudly. It is, the Bible is saying, the rising up of Jesus was preceded by earthquake. Don't be afraid, because the world is shaking. Don't be afraid, because our foundations are shaking. Stay still. As the angel was saying to Mary, Sukoyika, because he knew that this earthquake was not meant to destroy them, but the earthquake was to sound something new is coming beyond. I want to say, whatever earthquake, resurrection tells me, beyond every earthquake, good news awaits us. It is for that reason, Paul, who knows the understanding of what an earthquake is, in his personal life, ukuze singene emntwaneni kaThixo noba yintoni earthquake ekwenza uthandabuza ngathi umculi ndiphakathi kwamadhabi andithandabuzisayo nandibakela ukoyiko. I want to assure you, beyond this earthquake there is good news waiting for us, but it's not going to be received at the palaces. It's not going to be received from the pulpit or even from places of opulence. It shall be received at the grave. May this earthquake that is ravaging our country help us to know, as we hold fast to our faith, that beyond the earthquake, zikhona indaba ezinkulu neendaba ezintle esizilindileyo. Yiyo le nto le ntombazana ixelelwe into yokuba fear not, because this is not meant to destroy you. Abantu bakaThixo bayayazi into yoba we are made and transformed in pain. Yile nto akwazi ukuthi uPawulos neentlungu zakwaloku nje azinakulinganiswa nobuqaqala obusazawutshiywa kuthi. Whatever earthquake that might be facing your personal space or your family, allow me to say, beyond it, ulindele izindaba ezimnandi, indaba umngazindelanga ukuthi inkosi ivukile. And I want to close by saying, for you and for me, silindwe izindaba ezimnandi, but the earthquake is a transition from what we know to what is unknown. The earthquake is a transition from mystery to reality. The earthquake is a transition from supernatural to natural. And when the natural and the supernatural are being bridged, the earthquake moves. So that those who are the recipient of the good news may not take the good news for granted. We are given that opportunity as a country, as a church, that when God restores us as a people and as a nation, we may not take this moment for granted. And know, in that earthquake, God never meant to destroy us, but He meant to tell us something new, that the pagat queen. And I want to close by saying these few words that were said to the angel, to Marys, to these two Marys or three Marys. We see it in this to Yakubo. Fear not. No phobia. And what is interesting is that fear not means don't be afraid. Fear not means don't run away. But fear not also means don't withdraw. What you've been doing to serve God, don't stop it, because the situation seems to be turning against us. We see the world differently. Please fear not, because wherever you are, God is able to transform a grave, place of death, place of tears, place of disappointment, place and the loss of hope to be a place of generating good news. To tell those who are afar, those who are afraid, to say to them, Nkonzo, as we face the grave, not in the literal sense, though we know that this disease is killing, but grave in whatever forms, I want to say to you, fear not. Don't withdraw. Don't run away. Even if in your personal life you are carrying spices that say this situation is not going to be better, I want to tell you, go to the grave. Those spices are unique message. They were not given anything. They were told, go and tell others that Nkonzo. And our duty as a people and as a nation is to tell people that Nkonzo, in the place of stench, is change. It says Nkonzo. And I know even today, what an appropriate way of saying the Lord is risen when we cannot meet as a church, when we are ravaged by fear, when we are ravaged by coronavirus. What an appropriate way of sending the message that the Lord is risen, because the Lord rises from the grave. The Lord is not rising from the pulpit or the palace or even from the opulences. He rises from the place of exclusion, places out of our sight. Even in the places of those who are lying by the wayside who don't know what to eat. We are promised even from there, we shall hear the good news. Fear not. Go home. Tell them, beyond this earthquake, good news awaits us. Job knows it. When his house was ravaged by death, he didn't know that it was an earthquake. Uthi xa egqiba uthi kodwa amehlo am bendikade ndikuva ngendlebe, kodwa ngoku amehlo am aqondile. And all that I ask of God, that instead of silahlekelwe lithemba, masicela uthi xa sipha amehlo amatsha sikubone okwakwenzayo kuthi ngoYesu Kristu Nkosi. Come, let us pray. Easy, As Paul and Silas were singing in jail, ithi iBhayibhile yashukuma ithongo. Kanti ishukuma nje uzawuvuleka ingcala. Ezikathixo earthquakes always open doors for new possibilities and for new opportunities. But in accordance to the standards of the world, earthquakes bring destruction. But ngokathixo yakhe earthquake brings new possibilities. We are on the verge of new possibilities. But it will take those who out of fear are able to confront the grave. Even sometimes protecting other people, taking care of them. Making sure that we don't spread the infection. Shall those places of fear and loss of hope be transformed to the places of good news. Wanguthixo angasiphala amandla to stand fast and know that beyond this earthquake, good news awaits us. Sizathu noba ziyoyika kodwa ziyazi ba nobenye inkinga zikhona njengoba umuntu lakhe phakathi kokubona sosukunyiswe siyazi ba bukhona ubomi obutsha obuzayo ngoKristu Yesu Inkosi yethu amen. Masamkele unofefe bangangakunike nonke ufefe lwenkosi yethu Yesu Kristu uthando lukaThixo ubudlelwane bomoya ingcwele mabe nani nonke kudibene napha.